Y&R drama unfolds. Audra's manipulation sends Claire over the edge. The afternoon sun poured through the windows of Newman Enterprises, casting long shadows across the sleek glass walls. Inside, the usually calm corridors were alive with whispers and subtle glances. Rumors were like wildfire here, and everyone knew that the next spark could ignite chaos. But today, the fire wasn't coming from corporate maneuvering, it was personal. And its name was Audra. Audra Sterling had always been the kind of woman who wore charm like armor and deceit like a second skin. Behind her radiant smile and polished exterior lurked a mind sharpened for manipulation. And today, her target was someone she knew could break under pressure, Claire Newman. The heiress, with her porcelain beauty and fragile composure, had always been sensitive to scrutiny, especially in the shadow of her powerful family. Audra knew exactly where to push, and she did so with meticulous precision. It started with subtle remarks in meetings. "Oh, Claire, are you sure that strategy will work? I mean, considering your limitations." A seemingly innocent comment, but spoken with a venomous undertone. Claire had noticed, of course, but she brushed it off. She didn't want to believe anyone would purposely hurt her. But Audra wasn't finished. Audra began to infiltrate Claire's private life, slipping into conversations with mutual friends, planting seeds of doubt. "I think Claire's been acting strange," Audra would say casually. "I heard she mismanaged the Anderson deal. Can you imagine?" Soon, whispers followed Claire everywhere she went. Colleagues exchanged worried glances, friends hesitated before inviting her to gatherings. The walls she had built around herself were slowly cracking. The tipping point came one evening at the Newman penthouse. Claire had just returned from a grueling day of board meetings, exhausted and emotionally drained. She sank into the velvet sofa in the living room, hoping for a moment of peace. But her phone buzzed incessantly. One message after another, cryptic warnings, false accusations, and manipulative statements, all originating from accounts Claire couldn't trace. Claire's fingers trembled as she scrolled through the messages. "You're not fit to lead. Everyone thinks you're weak. Don't even think about presenting tomorrow." Her chest tightened, and a familiar sense of panic clawed at her throat. She knew these weren't casual insults, they were calculated, designed to shatter her confidence. In the middle of her torment, Audra appeared at the penthouse unannounced. Dressed impeccably, she exuded an aura of effortless control. "Claire, darling, are you okay? You look tense." Her voice was honeyed, but Claire could feel the underlying venom. I'm fine," Claire stammered, forcing a smile. But her eyes betrayed her. Audra noticed and tilted her head slightly, feigning concern. "You don't seem fine," she said softly. "You know, it's hard for people to trust you when you can't even trust yourself." Claire's composure finally snapped. The room seemed to spin, her thoughts tangled in fear, doubt, and fury. Audra's words weren't just manipulative, they were a mirror, reflecting every insecurity Claire had ever harbored. You don't understand," Claire shouted, her voice cracking. "You think you can destroy me, but her words faltered. Tears blurred her vision. I can't. Audra took a careful step closer, her eyes glinting with satisfaction. "Oh, Claire, it's not about destruction. It's about revealing the truth. You've always been fragile under pressure. Everyone sees it now." Claire's mind raced. Memories of past failures, of whispered doubts, of every small embarrassment, surged through her. Her hands shook violently, and she backed away toward the window. Outside, the city glittered, oblivious to the storm raging inside the penthouse. I won't let you," Claire's voice was barely audible. She stumbled, her fingers grazing the glass, almost losing her balance. Audra's expression softened, as if she were comforting a child, but the cold satisfaction in her eyes betrayed her intentions. "You have a choice, Claire," Audra said, lowering her voice to a whisper. "You can fight, or you can let go. But you can't deny what's already happening inside you. Resistance is exhausting, isn't it?" Claire's knees buckled, and she sank onto the sofa. The weight of Audra's manipulation crushed her, each word a hammer striking her self-esteem. She felt trapped in a web, each thread a reminder of her perceived inadequacy. Her breaths came fast, shallow, and ragged. The room felt smaller, the walls pressing closer with every accusation. Audra knelt beside her, the picture of concern, and whispered, "It's okay to feel vulnerable, Claire. Really, everyone has breaking points." But her smile, sharp and predatory, betrayed the reality. Claire's breaking point was exactly what Audra had engineered. Hours passed like minutes. Claire's body was exhausted, her mind a whirlwind of doubt and despair. Audra remained nearby, ensuring she saw the full effect of her psychological warfare. By the time the evening sun dipped behind the skyline, Claire was a shadow of her former self, her confidence shattered, her pride bruised, her trust in everyone around her eroded. Finally, Audra rose gracefully, brushing imaginary dust from her dress. "I think we both learned something today," she said softly. "Some people are stronger than they think, and some people just need a little guidance." She left the penthouse, closing the door with a quiet click that echoed like a verdict. Claire sat in silence, staring at the floor, the weight of manipulation pressing down like a physical force. She felt exposed, raw, and humiliated, but somewhere deep inside, a spark flickered. The spark of anger, yes, but also of determination. Audra had broken her, for now. But every piece of Claire's shattered composure was a seed for resilience. As night fell over Genoa City, Claire wiped her tears and lifted her chin. She was broken, yes, but not defeated. Audra had won this round, but the story was far from over. And somewhere, in the shadows, a storm was quietly brewing, one that would challenge Audra's control and prove that even the most cunning manipulator could be undone. In the world of the young and the restless, power was a game, manipulation a weapon, and trust a fragile treasure. Audra had struck hard, and Claire had fallen, but the drama, as always, was only just beginning.